This video was requested by user WN6KP2PQ5C. Thank you for being the first person to request a video. Hello everyone, today on Nerd Wars we are taking a look at DC's The Joker versus Freddy Krueger. A battle between two of the most demented people ever, if you could call them people. Reincarnations of the devil would seem appropriate. And to start things off, we have the ugliest slasher killer, Freddy Krueger. I'm only going to go over his original backstory and not the 2010 remake, because I'm not going to have that stuff on my channel. But anyway, Freddy Krueger was a human serial child killer in the town of Springwood, Ohio. He was notorious for murdering dozens of children, some of whom he tortured with his signature bladed glove. Freddy Krueger was eventually caught by the police. However, a technical error, specifically an improperly signed search warrant, led to his release from custody. However, furious that Freddy was set free, the parents of his victims took matters into their own hands. They tracked him to his boiler room hideout and set it on fire, burning him alive. Freddy's spirit was then approached by the dream demons, who offered him eternal life and the power to torment his victims in their dreams. Krueger accepted their offer and became the malevolent spirit known as Freddy Krueger. He continued his revenge by haunting and killing the children of his executioners in their dreams, an act that resulted in their real-world deaths. There's two reasons why Freddy Krueger likes to kill. The first one is for pleasure, and the second one is to get revenge for what the parents did to him. Rightfully so, I might add. Freddy Krueger's powers are dream manipulation. He controls the dream world, making it his domain to torment his victims. Supernatural strength, speed, and durability. In the dream realm, he is considerably stronger, faster, and more durable than most dream walkers. The people who walk among the dreams. Supernatural regeneration. Freddy can quickly heal from injuries within the dream world. Fear manipulation. He can sense, induce, and amplify his victim's fear to create specific nightmares and illusions. Illusion creation. Freddy can trick his victims' minds by creating powerful illusions that seem real to them. An expert combatant. In the dream world, he is a master of hand-to-hand combat, as demonstrated in Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy Krueger has near limitless power within the dream world, but he is still bound by rules and limitations which his victims exploit to defeat him. His power in the dream world is directly tied to the fear his victims feel for him. The more terrified his victims are, the stronger and more dominant he becomes. Now imagine yourself sleeping in your bed, watching the television, probably your favorite Star Trek episode or Star Wars movie, when a hand comes up out of your bed and drags you into your bed. Literally. And then all of a sudden, a fountain of blood starts shooting out from your bed, all in your bedroom that you spent all day cleaning in. Now, Freddy Krueger can still come into the real world, but his powers aren't as great. But he still has power. That awesome pool party you were having, boom, now trashed by Freddy Krueger. Want to try and reason with Freddy to, leave and let the pool party last a little bit longer? Freddy Krueger does not care about your pool party, he just wants to kill you. But if any of you caught on, most of Freddy's powers are in the dream world. Now it's time for Freddy Krueger's weaknesses. Freddy's powers originate from the dream demons, and he can be weakened if he angers them. So that's not a good idea for him. And his physical weaknesses are, he's vulnerable in the real world. Freddy exists primarily in the dream world and is extremely powerful there, but when he is forcibly brought into the real world, he becomes mortal and vulnerable to conventional injury or death. And he has a fear of fire, due to being burned alive. Freddy harbors a deep-seated fear of fire which can stun him or make him hesitate to use fire-based attacks. Psychological weaknesses. He has a reliance on fear. Freddy draws his power from the fear of his victims. If victims can conquer their fear, believe the situation is a dream, or actively resist him, they can weaken his power and make him more susceptible to harm in the real world. Being forgotten. If a victim or society in general forgets about Freddy, he loses his connection to the dream world and can become powerless or be trapped in hell for eternity, where he belongs. Ways to defeat Freddy: pull him into reality. Luring or forcing him into the waking world makes him mortal. Resist fear. By showing courage and bolstering one's nerve, victims can weaken him. Use fire. In Freddy vs. Jason, fire was used to momentarily stun Freddy, creating an opportunity to wound him. How does fire always work its way into horror movies? Confront him with powerful forces. Characters with strong dream manipulation powers, or those who can overpower him directly, are shown to be able to defeat him. Get souls released. Releasing the souls of his victims can make him lose power. But I have no doubt in my mind that all of the ways to defeat him would be really hard, since no real person has plot armor. And now it's time for everyone's favorite green-haired clown, the Joker. Now, the Joker's origin story is deliberately ambiguous and often described as a multiple choice. Within DC Comics lore, no single definitive history exists. The most common and influential elements across various stories include an encounter with Batman at a chemical plant that leads to his disfigurement. The Red Hood 1951 is the earliest origin story from Detective Comics. Issue 168 presents the Joker as a former lab worker who becomes a criminal known as the Red Hood. While attempting to rob a playing card company, he is cornered by Batman, falls into a vat of chemicals, and emerges with chalk-white skin, green hair, and a permanent grotesque red grin. The Joker does have a few fears: being forgotten, losing Batman, dying pointlessly, remembering his past life, the IRS.
I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but the IRS? No, thank you.
Now, even though the Joker is a human, he does have several abilities. Genius-level intellect. Despite his apparent insanity, the Joker is a brilliant criminal mastermind and master tactician whose plans can outwit even Batman or other highly intelligent characters like Lex Luthor. His chaotic and unpredictable nature makes it difficult for his opponents to anticipate his next move. Master manipulator and deceiver. The Joker is an expert in psychological warfare, capable of getting into the heads of his victims and manipulating them emotionally. A prime example is his manipulation of Dr. Harleen Quinzel, a brilliant psychiatrist, into becoming his devoted sidekick, Harley Quinn. Expert chemist and innovator. He uses his knowledge of chemistry and engineering to create a unique arsenal of comedic weaponry, most notably his signature Joker venom, a deadly toxin that leaves victims with a ghoulish grin. High pain tolerance. Due to his exposure to chemicals and masochistic nature, the Joker appears highly resistant to pain, often laughing off injuries that would incapacitate a normal human. Toxic immunity. Constant self-exposure to his own concoctions has rendered the Joker immune to most known toxins and poisons. Skilled combatant. While not having the physical strength of some metahumans, the Joker is a capable and unpredictable hand-to-hand combatant. He uses a chaotic fighting style, dirty tactics, and a lack of self-preservation to hold his own against trained fighters, including members of the Bat family. In some interpretations of the Joker, supersanity. Some stories suggest his mental state is a form of supersanity, an ultrasensory perception where he constantly reinvents his personality to suit the situation, making him immune to psychological profiling or fear toxins. Unique gimmicks and equipment. Explosive novelty items, pies, chattering teeth, etc. Guns modified with gag flags that when shot a second time become lethal projectiles. Razor-sharp playing cards and lethally electric joy buzzers. And acid-spewing lapel flowers. The Joker's greatest strength is his complete lack of fear and his nihilistic desire for chaos, which makes him virtually invulnerable to Batman's primary weapon of intimidation. But now it comes down to the question, who would win, Freddy Krueger or the Joker? I think the Joker would have the upper hand in this battle. Mostly.
Watch me, I'm a maniac. Can't stop me, I'm a maniac. Riding on the rage, feeding on the flames. That won't ever change. No, maniac.
Now, I know Freddy has all these supernatural powers and everything, but given enough time, the Joker would probably overcome all of those nightmares Freddy would put him under. And in the Joker's mind, it would probably be hard for Freddy to stay in control anyway. And in the real world, Joker would definitely win. Now, Freddy Krueger might win in the dream world, but I would still bet on the Joker. If I were being hunted by one of them, I would pick Freddy Krueger. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know if you want to see any other battles down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay awesome, and may the Lord be with you.